and I am a teacher and I am here sharing my cooking tips with you guys, even though I really hate cooking. So you may be asking, why am I sharing my cooking tips? Well, because here we go, guys. If you hate cooking like me, then this is really tough to get ready for back to school and everything like that. So I tend to prep ahead of time and try to have a few meals ready each week before school starts, so that I'm kind of ready and I can put my focus in on my classroom and I don't have to worry about what I'm going to make whenever I get home. So today we're making lasagna. And so the first thing that you need to do when making your lasagna is, of course, buy all the supplies, right? So I went and bought my lasagna supplies in triple. So I bought 3 ricotta cheeses instead of the one that the recipe calls for. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually making not 3 lasagnas, but I'm actually going to make 6. I kind of spread it out because when I make those huge lasagna pans, we're a family of 4 and I end up having so much left over that it ends up getting pitched. Like we'll eat it for, like, I'll take it to school the next day, my husband will take it to work, we'll have it for leftovers and we're just kind of done with it. So I personally buy these little aluminum pans that are the cake pans instead of the lasagna pans. They're just a little, I think they're like 8x8 size, and they make a mini lasagna. It's enough for us for 1 meal and maybe a leftover or 2. So these are perfect. Oh, and before I stop the video, the next thing that I do is I buy these huge things of ground beef. I buy anywhere from 3 pounds to 5 pounds depending on what I want to do with it. Today I bought 3 pounds. So that's all you need to make 6 lasagnas with this recipe. So I'm going to ground this up and, well, okay, it's already ground, whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about, see? So I'm just going to put this in a pan and I'm going to cook it up, okay? Okay, so I've got my meat browned and drained, and I'm not going to walk you through all the steps because I'm giving you the recipe that you can print off and download. So that should be in a PDF that you guys can easily grab. So when I browned my ground meat, one of the things that I did was I actually went ahead and made an extra pound of meat. And the reason why is because it's my next back to school survival tip is I actually stick this in a bag or 2 of a freezer bag, and I will actually use this for a night that maybe I'm going to make spaghetti or cheeseburger mac or something like that. My kids love cheeseburger mac. I just fix a box of macaroni and cheese and I add beef to it. It's super simple. But I'll stick this in a freezer bag. I'll stick them in the freezer and freeze them, and then I have that ready too. So I just kind of like batch everything, like do huge batches. So I've made my meat sauce. I've already added the spaghetti sauce and the water to it, and I've already made my cheese sauce. And my cheese with ricotta, mozzarella, parmesan, and everything, it also has water in it. And the reason why the extra water, because I know I freaked out the first time that I made this recipe, the water soaks into the noodles so that you don't have to pre-boil the noodles. Yes, that's the best. So I took my cake pan and I broke 3 noodles to fit the bottom of the pan. And then, so I'm just going to start layering some cheese. I don't really worry a whole lot about it. Just kind of throw it in there. And I just kind of smash it onto the top of the noodles. So you can see I've just kind of spread them on there. And then, uh-oh, I don't have a cup. I take some spaghetti sauce and the meat sauce, and I just kind of drizzle it over the top. I don't worry a whole lot about the amounts. And then I'm just going to keep layering. And So I'll grab another lasagna noodle. These are too long for my pan, so I just kind of snap them and I will throw them on there. And then I use these little bitty extra pieces that I have, and I'll just put 2 of them together to pretend like I have an extra noodle there. And I just keep layering, guys. So I'm gonna layer cheese sauce, more spaghetti sauce, 1 more noodles, and then I'll put some more cheese sauce and lasagna or spaghetti sauce. All right, you can see I've got 1 of the lasagnas done. I'll usually just do all 6 of my lasagnas as I'm working on it, but for sake of time, I did 1 for you guys. And then I'll just take some Parmesan cheese and I will sprinkle it all over the top. And then what I will do is I will cover this with aluminum foil, and I will stick 1 in the refrigerator to cook for later in the day or later in the week. And then I will also stick the 5 others with aluminum foil on top in the freezer, and I will be pulling them out like over the weekend, the week that I'm going to use them. So what I usually do is we'll have a lasagna like every other week, and so this lasts me a couple of months of lasagna, or sometimes we'll get bored of it and sometimes it'll even last me till November, because maybe we'll have 1 a month or something like that. I also have 1 to give somebody if you know, somebody, you know, is ill or somebody just had a baby or whatever. These are really super handy to have. And so then I'll just write the directions in Sharpie marker on the top: bake at 375 for 45 minutes, uncover, and then bake for 15 more. So, but all those directions are in the recipe. So anyway, that's all I have for lasagna today. If you have any questions, because maybe I forgot to tell you guys something, I do end up making 6 different lasagnas by tripling my recipe, because I make mini lasagnas rather than cake or the lasagna size lasagnas. And so that just saves me, because we don't like that many leftovers. And the cake pans are super handy to put in my little freezers and things like that. One other thing I forgot to mention: when you stack them up in your freezer, don't stack them up. Lay 1 out over here and then 1 out over here, freeze those, and then put your next layer on top, because if you put them on top of each other, you'll do like me and you'll end up with spaghetti sauce in the bottom of your freezer. So lessons learned from me. Hopefully you will learn those lessons and not make the same mistakes I did. So hope this helps you with your back to school survival. Thanks so much. I'm Amber from TGIF, their greatest fun.